Like every Monday night, you are checking out Breakfast Super Raw.
Bon appetit as Don Tony and Mish dish out their opinions about the world of pro wrestling, sports, news, and pop culture. Breakfast Super Raw.
And now, your host, Mish and Don Tony.
All right, for Mets haters out there, I'm sorry. It's the only hat I could grab tonight. Good evening, everybody. Welcome. It is Monday night, March 15th, 2021, which means that it's getting close, everyone. We're only a couple of weeks away. Yes. Yours truly's birthday. Yes. And WrestleMania. But good evening, everyone. This is Breakfast Soup Raw. I am Don Tony, which means he is
Anthony Missionary Thomas. What's going on, DT? What's going on?
Not much. How you doing?
Good, man. Just kind of dealing with the crazy weather. I swear, all week last week they told us it was just going to be a little rain on Monday. We got swamped with like just an impromptu blizzard. So fun,
right?
Fun, yeah.
This past Friday, it was 65 degrees over here. Had a little lunch with a customer. First time in 2 years I had pasta. I went off my keto diet, and I tell you, if anybody
Weren't you the one that was telling me that there's keto pasta?
There is keto pasta, but it's not the same. You know, it's like, having sex with a blow-up doll. It kind of does the job, but it's nowhere near the real thing, Yeah, so what happened was I went to a customer's house. By the way, I know everyone, well, not everyone, but I know some of you are here specifically about the WrestleMania tickets, the truth, no clickbait. We'll give it to you in 1 minute. This past Friday, I went to a customer's house to pick up a check for a policy that he was renewing. I walk into his house, giant bowl of pasta. His cleaning lady's there eating. He's eating. His wife is eating. He's like, sit down, have a plate. And I'm like, no, I've been on this keto diet for 2 years. I haven't had pasta for 2 years. And he's like, you're going to insult me? Sit down. It's not going to kill you. It's not going to kill you. I said, yeah, but if I have a plate, then I eat this and I eat that. He's like, sit down. So he's one of those where you sit down. So I sat down. I ate a giant plate of homemade pasta with homemade tomato sauce. I ate a casadera after, if anybody knows about Italian pastries, and all night flustered, felt like shit, had diarrhea the next day, but you know what? 24 hours later, back into ketosis, no problems at all. I actually dropped the pound since Friday. So I think once a month now, yours truly is going to cheat. It's going to cheat.
Congratulations.
Oh, man, I loved it. I made love to that pasta, man. 2 years. 2 years. So, before we get into Raw, I always say, and this has been my motto since 97, I don't want to be first, I want to be right. We don't clickbait, we don't tease, we just tell you straight up. And yes, that probably costs us some viewers, curiosity, blah, 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 but we're always straight up with everyone. WrestleMania tickets were supposed to go on sale tomorrow. Delayed.
Right.
Now, I know a lot of websites are running with the COVID outbreak from last week, COVID protocols, safety things, this and that. I just, those are the same websites that said that Asuka is out indefinitely with a concussion. These are the same websites that last week said everywhere that, Vince McMahon, all the matches are up in the air with the exception of the two main events.
Right.
Every match that Mish and I have been talking about here for the last 6+ weeks is happening. The only thing that makes it complete is if Brock Lesnar gets added to the mix. We don't know yet, but everything. I mean, let's also be honest. We had no idea what the Raw Tag Team title situation would be. But as far as Braun and Shane, yes, it's happened in a Fastlane, but that's just the teaser. to get everybody into it. That's the foreplay before the orgasm, you know, the main intercourse. But anyway, enough of the sex topics. So, WrestleMania tickets were postponed today.
You're having sex with pasta. You're having sex with blow dolls.
All right, look, let's just let everybody know what's going on, okay? I got this straight from WWE. I have been in contact with two people in WWE for various reasons. One, trying to get the info on this. Also, trying to have some type of a WrestleMania giveaway on this show. And I don't just mean tickets, because I know a lot of people out there aren't going to be able to go to Florida, maybe are a little nervous, you know, going out in public like that. So we're talking merchandise, memorabilia, little WrestleMania gift package. I'm also getting, hopefully by tomorrow, the answers about these. What happens to these network cards that are unused? But as far as the tickets go, this is the story. WWE, and we told you guys 2 months ago that they were trying to get 30 to 40,000 fans in attendance. And the thing is this, with that arena, that stadium, Raymond James Stadium, they're setting up pods for everyone. Now, when they set up pods, all it really means is that if there's a pod of 4, then there'll be space between another pod, let's say, of 2. And then if that space, there's a pod of 6, and a pod of 1, and a pod of... That's how they're doing it. And this is a boatload of work. And the thing is that I was on the list as far as getting WrestleMania updates. And when I joked earlier that Ticketmaster had turned heel, I went in to put in the pre-sale to get all my stuff ready because I was buying tickets tomorrow. You know, even if I couldn't go, I would sell them. I was going to get a pot of 2 for me and my fiance. And what happened was, when I went back into this afternoon, suddenly I'm getting March, I think, 36, that the ticket sales have been changed to March 36. Now, obviously, there's no such date as March 36. Then I check it again, and it says URL not found, and all these things. Now, what I found out is that Ticketmaster is doing tests, and this idea of doing pods and this setup with that type of volume, you have to be really, really precise with this stuff because, and another thing that they're concerned about is the resale market, because you buy a pod of 4, you know, you're not going to be able to take one of those tickets and throw it up on a resale site or go on. You can't do that. And you're not going to have somebody who sells a pod of, imagine this, somebody buys, a scalper buys a pod of 4. Then he takes one of those tickets and sells it to an individual person. Then he takes another of those tickets, sells it to another individual person. He has 2 tickets left. He sells it to a pair of people. And all 4 of them show up for the event. You think they're all going to sit together? Well, we're just in a pod and there's only 4 of us. No, that's not how it works. There is a lot of behind the scenes stuff going on. And they are not ready to launch this. There's other logistics as well.
Okay, let me ask you something. Let me ask you a little something before we get too far with these pods. So when you're talking about these pods, what is going into making these pods? Are they like designing something new, or is this some kind of measure that they've already taken or used for?
I have not seen the setup, but the idea of doing a barricade between each group, that doesn't appear to be. I mean, the logistics would be so difficult to set up and to maintain it that way. It's just, I think, the distance between.
Why do you think they didn't do what the Super Bowl did, where they would just sell the seats in between people?
Yeah. That's as of now, WWE is not looking to put cutouts. I think that would be a wonderful idea. Somebody wants to pay $10 for a cutout, $20 for a cutout. I mean, they'll never be seen on camera.
Well, that's what you would do. You would do it through like Fathead or something like that.
Yes.
Have them take pictures of people, or you take pictures of yourself with Fathead, and for $100 or whatever it is. Because didn't the Super Bowl, didn't the NFL actually take all those cutouts and all that money was donated to charity and everybody got put in the raffle the Pro Bowl?
I think
Like,
so.
I thought that was a brilliant idea, man. I don't know why WWE wouldn't mimic that, because that was smart as hell.
I think as far as the Super Bowl, I just think that they planned it a lot better than WWE planned WrestleMania. I mean, this is obviously a whole different element. I mean, yes, it's in the stadium like Super Bowl, and yes, the distance from the ring and everywhere else, I get that, but it's just logistically completely different. And the thing is, this has got to be foolproof. The Super Bowl seemed to go pretty damn good without a hitch. But again, Super Bowl, they had cutouts separated between the seats. But this, with the pod setup, they did it on a very, very minuscule, tiny setup. When they would have NXT, you would have a group of 4 and then it'd be separated, this and that. You do that with 40,000 fans. I mean, just think about that for a minute. You're not going to have 10,000, pieces of, something to separate. Nah, that'd be insane. But, but that's the deal, everybody. There's no controversy. I mean, yes, there was a little bit of an outbreak at the Performance Center. NXT.
How many people were affected? Because I've gotten various numbers from 3 people to like almost 10 people.
I haven't heard a specific number. I would be lying if I told you a specific number, but
I just went by what rumors were saying, and I had no clue. So I was like, maybe you know.
No. And honestly, do I look red tonight? I don't know. I'm looking at the screen. I kind of look red.
Your lips look like you just got done macking on your girl or something.
or having one of like a cherry Italian ice or something. But no, but honestly, this is an awful lot to do. And they got to get it right. And the test runs failed. There's other aspects of it as well. But this is the main reason why it's been delayed. So all of this controversy stuff that you're reading online, it's clickbait. That's all it is. So they expect the tickets to go on sale within a week. There's been talk of maybe doing it, I think 10 a.m. or 9 a.m. Saturday morning. They may do it next Monday, but they want to hype it up still. And I wouldn't be surprised by Friday SmackDown they announce something on TV. I mean, online also, but I would think by Friday we'll know. But, this crazy controversy that COVID is
Yeah. Let me ask you another thing. Is there any early sales for these tickets at all? Like, has there been any news on like a early release for certain people?
Yeah, there was pre-sale that they were going to do, but everything is on hold. I wanted to be part of the pre-sale. That was the whole idea, that if I get a pair of tickets, if I go, I don't want to sit in the boondocks. I want to be as close to the field as possible.
Right.
But that's the deal. That's the deal. There's no controversy. It's just, we're in the beginning, hopefully, of the end of COVID, and you still got to take some protocol. I mean, just because restrictions are lifted in some states doesn't mean that you just walk around and, everything is fine and just, it's not the way it goes. Plus everybody out there will hopefully be responsible enough to take their own precautions. So that's it. They just want to make everybody feel comfortable, and they don't want to avoid scalpers turning this into, a serious health issue. Believe it or not, scalpers are the scariest part of all of this. Like I said, if they figure out ways of breaking this shit up, and you got a pot of 4 set up, like I said, and you see, 4 people show up and half of them don't know each other, what do? You're going to start rearranging? You can't do that. You can't do that.
Well, yeah, no, that's actually a good point, because the whole reason that they had the pods is in order to be COVID compliant.
Right.
But you start giving them off to random people that aren't a part of that pod. Now what the hell do you do?
That's why what they got to do.
People that are going to give up their tickets right there.
They got to make it a crime. They got to make some hefty ass fine that if a scalper tries to break up the tickets, $500 fine, $1,000 fine. I know it sounds crazy, everyone, but this is a pandemic going on. And
yeah, but is WWE liable for that, or is it going to be the ticket buyers that are going to be liable for that?
I think, look, WWE has no control. They're not going to check, that all 4 people that show up because look, if I buy a set of 4 tickets, I could bring anybody I want. I don't have to tell them in advance.
Your family, and then you could bring me. So
I could bring you. I could bring anybody.
And if they look at the last name, they're going to see de Blasi. Who the fuck is this Thomas guy?
Oh no, they don't do that. They don't do that. But look, it's I'm saying this with the utmost respect. There's a lot of people out there. They see UFC is going to come back to a full event. NASCAR many months ago had fans. Football, this and that. And there are people out there that, let's just be honest, are extremely jealous that others are able to do things that they cannot do. So they immediately shit on it. Oh, COVID, look, oh, super spreader. Oh, Jericho, it's Sturgis, super spreader, and this and that. They just want to instill that, like that jealousy. People are, we live in a free country where we are responsible for our own actions. If I am careless and I get sick and die over it, or I cause other people to get sick and die over it, that's me. That's on me. But you're not going to force someone's hand. So, you got to trust people to a certain extent. But at the same time, there's a lot of people going to WrestleMania, even from out of town, that expect to go there and feel safe. To feel safe. You fly from even a different country if you're lucky. You fly and you go all the way there and you expect to sit in a pod with just you and your significant other, and then you see 2 other seats there. What are you going to do? Where are they going to move them? Right. So
do you think there's going to be a lot of people flying in? Or do you think
Oh, yeah. I posted it online a month ago. You could, and I even looked about 10 days ago, you could get plane tickets to Tampa that weekend for like $119.
Right.
I told you.
No, I don't necessarily mean the prices. I mean just traveling from country to country. Is there any kind of restrictions in between countries or from countries?
There are some, but in some countries you have to be tested right before you get on a plane. Listen, I told this story about a month ago on Patreon for people that don't know. My father, obviously, almost all of you know, had major heart surgery about a month ago. But 2 months ago, he went to Florida with my mother. They were selling a piece of property, and they had to go there because there's been a lot of a mess for the last 6 months trying to get this sale finalized. So anyway, the long story short, when they flew back to New York from Marco Island, from Fort Myers, Florida, when they showed up at the airport, JFK, here in New York, they were greeted by military men. And they gave them a piece of paper, and they were required to fill it out and leave it with the military men at the airport. So my mom and my dad go aside, and my father looks at the paper, and they want their names, their address. They check off a box that they agree to quarantine for, I think, 14 days or whatever it was. They want to know where they went, where they came from, this and that. My father turned around and said to my mother, don't you dare fill that out. They're not giving their personal information to, the government or the airport. You don't know where this information is going. My parents are responsible enough that they took precautions. They got tested before they left. They got tested when they came back, and they were clear. And now they're fully vaccinated as well. So the point is that there is protocol that it's supposed to be followed. But once someone gets to another state, there's no way of really tracking what they're doing. There really isn't. Right. Look at South Beach right now. I mean, you look at spring break. I mean, there's no way they're going to be able to contact trace everybody there. Hell, if you really want to go it even further, I'll give a little piece of news for everyone out there. here in New York, if you could get the vaccine if you're 60 and over, or if you work in some type of fields.
Right.
If you show up at a vaccination site without an appointment, you might have to wait a little bit, like stand by in an airport. But if they have some shots left over because some people didn't show, you could get the vaccine. I know 5 people who have gotten the vaccine that are in their pretty much their 30s, had to show no proof of employment, had to show nothing. No, I just made the appointment, got there, they gave me the vaccine, and that's it. They just don't want everybody to know this because then the appointments get flooded. And then the people that really need to get it can't get it. So, I mean, let me make this clear. The 5 people that I'm talking about all qualify because they're in the grocery business. But the point is, they're not even checking. They're not checking employment.
Well, didn't they stop doing the paperwork? Like, I know in the very beginning of this, like in 2020, there were essential workers that were effectively given paperwork by their businesses that were representation of their state and their federal.
Yeah.
But that ran out last year. Like, I don't even think that they made anything for 2021. Is there anybody even receiving that?
No.
Or no?
And you know what it is? I mean, I'm sure you've all seen the pictures when me and my parents got vaccinated. You're in a gymnasium and you have tables, and the tables are all gloves, and it's all sanitary, and it's syringes, and it's medication, and it's cards. They don't have a box there where, okay, put your proof of employment in this box, and they just build it up and then put it on the side. They don't do that. They don't check nothing. They don't check nothing. So, but Philip Maffey, he signed up for the pre-sale as well, and he is fine with them delaying ticket sales. And look, I say this again, for anybody that wants to go, or you know someone that wants to go or is planning on going, you would want for yourself or for someone you know, for them to be safe. So if they delay the ticket sales for a couple of days, to make sure everything is done right, that is the right thing to do. It's a talking point for a lot of people out there. It's clickbait. You're going to see the big block letters of all that shit posted everywhere. It's just to make sure they get it right. Props to Ticketmaster for not going forward with it anyway. Props to WWE for, postponing it as well. In a week, maybe sooner, it'll get put on sale, and that's it. That's it. It's smart. It's smart to do. So, but so anyway, so that's the deal. Now, tonight, they repeated the announcement that Molly Holly is in the 2021 Hall of Fame, which definitely deserves it. Sweet woman. I got to meet her 3 times. Sweet woman. But they made it pretty much official. I mean, we knew this already, but 3 weeks from tomorrow is when the Hall of Fame ceremony is going to air. So, the schedule that we talked about on Friday, there's like 10 straight days pretty much of wrestling. You add an AEW and other stuff going on, man, we're going to be on overload. We're going to be burned out that week.
Yeah, I already feeling a little burned out today. I mean, you had AEW on for 2 hours? No, 3 hours, right? 3 hours today?
That's what I said on Friday. I said, something tells me this is going to bleed into Raw. And
it did.
Yeah, it bled into Raw. And you know what? Something you and I have been saying for about 4 months now. A lot of you will remember Tony Khan, when he first showed up in Impact Wrestling. On this show, we said McMemphis. Felt like Vince McMahon, 1993, showing up on Memphis TV years before Mr. McMahon, testing out the character, doing it in a smaller area. And tonight we saw on the AEW, now I haven't watched the whole show yet. I've only saw drips and drabs, but Tony Khan and AEW is now pushing it as the GM of AEW. And Tony Khan cut a promo, set up a match between Matt Sydal and Kenny Omega, I think, for next Wednesday. So there you go. There you go. McMemphis is happening. I think it's a great idea. I mean, honestly, what's your take on it? Because I think it's an excellent idea.
Well, I mean, it gets a little bit to be too much already. I mean, they've got 3 shows on a week, my friend. It's a lot when you're coming off to going up against 3 other shows on this week, not even including where we're going with the NWA, not including people that are MLW fans, not including the Dark Side of the Rings that everybody's getting on board watching, not including whatever other ROH or whatever other shows you're watching. It's crazy. The weeks are just too full, man. They're getting bad. Yeah. It's getting to be too much. I mean, you're practically doing a show every day of the week, and now because NXT is going to move over to Tuesdays, and then you're going to have 2 shows on Monday. You're going to have You're going to have 2 shows on Tuesday. You're going to have Dynamite on Wednesday. Thursday you have an Ask Me Everything, and then Fridays you got SmackDown. And then depending on which company, with TNA or ROH or whatever, or MMA even. I mean, I know you don't always watch MMA, but you pop in every once in a while. So Saturdays and your Sundays might be full too. What the hell, DT?
You know what? As long as everybody keeps tuning in, I'll keep banging them out. But, you know, for our Patreon family, we will talk about it tomorrow as far as what happens when NXT starts the Tuesday after WrestleMania. Right. So we'll get into that. But I'm looking forward to seeing Tony Khan do it. Look, yes, it's going to feel like Dixie Carter stuff. Yes, it's going to feel like, the promoter. But you know what? I've been saying it since day one, and anybody that tunes into Wednesdays know I've said it at least 50 times since Cody made the remark. When Cody made the remark that we're not going to do a GM because we're insulting the fans' intelligence because they know the GM doesn't have any authority, right. And then they proceed to have wrestlers book their own matches. Like they have, you know what I mean? It's just... The comment was asinine. I understand why he said it was asinine, but you know what? They now have technically a GM, and you know what? The fact that the GM is the guy that pretty much owns and runs the place, you kind of say, well, you know what? That is legit authority. I just hope he can nail it. I hope he can nail it. I have no problem with it. If it sucks, I will say it. So, just like I got ripped on Wednesday because I criticized Maki Ito. Oh, if Maki Ito looked like Ryo Mizunami, I wouldn't have been ripped at all. But that thing with the microphone, this is what it... Did you see what she did to Shida with the microphone Wednesday? Maki Ito? Why is Mish frozen? Did something happen over here? Oh, you were frozen for a second. Yeah, see, I'm criticizing Maki Ito in a lighthearted way, and everything went frozen. Did you see Wednesday with Maki Ito with the microphone to Shida's head? Of course. This is what it was. If she did it to South.
Yeah. It was really bad.
I like really Maki Ito, but my God, that was horrendous. I actually criticized Shida 1,000 times more. Shida looking like a scene from Star Wars, battling Reba, the Singapore cane to the crutch. And I didn't even notice, some of you pointed it out to me, that Vicky Guerrero, who was choking Shida with the cane, she actually slipped for a second, and you could see Shida's choking herself. Choking myself. Let's get off that topic. So Raw tonight. Wow. A lot of advancement to WrestleMania. Fastlane is obviously the bump in the road, but yes. We are getting, as of right now, we are getting Roman Reigns and Edge. Maybe Daniel Bryan gets thrown in there. We didn't talk Friday. You had a choice. Roman Reigns versus Edge, or Roman Reigns versus Edge versus Daniel Bryan. Which one would you go with?
Oh, yeah, the 3-way. No doubt. Throw Daniel Bryan into that mix. Absolutely.
I want to see him and Edge go at it.
Yeah. Actually, I don't mind all three of them going at it. I think you have a good weight. You have a good balance in that match with all three of them.
Yeah. Now we go to Monday. Tonight, they announced Drew McINTYre challenging Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania for the championship. Would you rather see Bobby Lashley versus Drew one-on-one, or would you want to see Lashley versus Drew versus Lesnar?
Lashley versus Drew.
Yeah? Okay.
Only because, and I only say this because, at this point, we've been waiting now for Brock Lesnar for about 3 months just to make an appearance, to make some kind of a show, to make some kind of a statement, to show up at one of these pay-per-views, to even do a video package, something. He hasn't done anything. If Brock Lesnar ends up showing up in the next couple of weeks, it is going to feel tremendously forced. And then to immediately just grant him a title match. So now you're going to put the idea in people's heads that Brock might actually win. And God forbid if he does. I love Brock. I do. I love Brock. But this scenario is cacas. It's just straight out cacas.
Now I want Lashley to keep that belt for a while. I'm enjoying it, man.
Yeah.
So I'll say this. I don't think WWE would do 2 3-way matches for heavyweight titles. So if you were to say to me, if Brock were to show up, then I don't think Daniel Bryan would be part of the 3-way. But, as of right now, those are the matches. Yeah, we got Fastlane and Daniel Bryan is going to take on Roman Reigns, but we already know the outcome of that. Daniel Bryan's not winning the belt Sunday. I'm not trying to be party pooper, but that's just a fact. Now, Shane McMahon is going to take on Braun Sunday as well. Now, for those that missed Raw tonight, Braun Strowman, I don't know if anybody got the Sting vibes when Sting, every week on AEW, Sting calls out Team Taz. Sting wants to challenge Team Taz. Sting has something to say to Team Taz. Now, this was only 2 weeks in a row. But Braun wants Shane to come out there. And Shane is going heavy on making fun of Braun. He's a moron. He's a dope. He's an idiot. Braun telling us that I got bullied as a kid. You look at that and you're like, yeah, we don't give a shit. Look at you now. Especially when you think of when he was a heel, he was kind of a bully himself. But, Shane taunting him. Long story short, Braun Strowman says, Shane, say what you want to say. You don't have the balls to say, you want a match with me. So Braun says, I want a match with you. I challenge you to a match. And Shane McMahon says, challenge accepted. So we think we're going to get a match tonight on Raw. And right before the match starts, there's a hopscotch set up outside the ring. And Shane is doing hopscotch. And if anybody knows hopscotch, you got the single digits, and he's saying, oh, this, maybe this just like, show Braun could learn how to count. And Braun is chasing him around the ring. And Braun was going to do one of those tackles where he runs and gets, Shane grabs the cameraman, nails Braun Strowman with the camera.
Right. Match
never starts. Braun Strowman put on the top of the announcer's table. Shane climbs to the top, does the elbow, onto Braun through the table. And then Shane, who had 2 cans, think Nickelodeon green goop, think Degeneration X green goop. He takes the buckets from under the ring and he dumps it all over Braun, calling Braun an idiot. And then we find out that these two are going to have a match at Fastlane. What'd you think of that tonight?
That was, what? I'm really kind of disenchanted with Shane's turn of events lately with Braun. Shane is not acting like a McMahon. Like, McMahons are usually smarter, but Shane's entire character of, you stupid, me smart, you stupid, is kind of like, this is not a good example of what people would expect of the McMahon. I mean, you go back in the day, and I hate to bring up Attitude Era and shit, but you go back in the day when Mr. McMahon sacrifice his own daughter to Undertaker just to get a hold of Austin. I mean, that was the level of treachery and deep thinking plots that the McMahons had. And now you've just turned around to like preschool, grade school taunting. It doesn't look good on Shane. Shane looks like, you know what, in my opinion, Shane looks like a bigger moron than Braun does.
You know what?
Because you don't expect much from Braun, but you expect a lot more from Shane.
You want to know something? Before I say what I'm going to say, AS7607, I agree with you. That slime could have been from the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards or Double Dare, I think that TV show was. Something like that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. By the way, my thoughts are with you. I mentioned it Friday. Anybody who was with us last Monday, AS7607, she was in a hospital with COVID-like symptoms. And she was diagnosed with COVID. So she is battling it right now. We're 1 week later. I hope a week from now you tell me I'm back to normal. So just keep resting. I know a lot of people in the chat room have expressed their thoughts and prayers. So keep going, keep going. You know, you're a week in, you know, before you know it, it'll be out of here, seriously. And then if you qualify for the vaccine, wait a month. Do not, you know, get it right away. One of the questions they ask in the questionnaire is, have you gotten any type of vaccination within 2 weeks? Do not get it right away. That could really screw you up. So thoughts and prayers. Now I'll say this. I know I've been uber positive about wrestling for the last year or so. You know, just my overall view on things have brightened a lot. I don't want anybody to get upset with me. I respect your opinion. If you disagree with me, respect mine. I suddenly am enjoying the shit out of this Braun Shane storyline.
Really?
Yeah. The only reason why is because Shane McMahon is coming off like a pompous asshole. He's just fucking with someone. And didn't you say this last week? Is Shane McMahon kind of like, did you say about Shane last week that Shane McMahon kind of represents the net?
That was just me Hail Marying that one.
I think you nailed the Hail Mary, because this is kind of like the trolls online that hide behind the computer and talk a lot of shit and will taunt and say shit. And they know that the person on the other side will never go to their house and put themselves in a situation where they could get arrested. Trust me, there's a lot of assholes out there that I would love.
It's not even like I don't like Shane versus Braun. I think the idea of the match is still solid. You know Shane's going to put on a performance and at least
he's going to get his ass kicked.
Right. And you know Braun is going to just beat the hell out of him. But the problem is that Shane is not acting like the character that's been built up over decades. Shane is a rich, cocky boy. Absolutely. And Shane is a little bit cowardly over time. Absolutely. But Shane was never dumb. And I mean, the antics that he's doing now, kind of like the fact that Braun even caught him tonight in the ring for half a second is almost too much for Shane. I don't know. I expected a little bit more out of that storyline. I'm not saying that the idea of it is a bad idea. Like, the match is going to be fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I just think that the grade school taunting, you're better than that, Shane.
But that's what I like about it. That's what I like about it. Like, what are you, fucking stupid? You know what I mean? That's just like you said, that's bigger stupidity than him calling Braun stupid. Right. That's the point of it. Like, do you realize what you're getting yourself into? And I look at it like this. Tell me the last time that Shane McMahon had a shitty match. Yes, I know it's mostly a bump, you know, and a thing.
Roman wasn't good.
Okay, all right.
I'm just being fair.
No, that's fine. Yeah. I just think, look, I don't like the storyline. Like, it just came out of nowhere. It feels very random. But since it's here and since it's building, you know, hey, you know what I mean? Like, and look, I understand everyone's saying like, yeah, but he beat Braun down tonight. That shouldn't happen. That's the point. The fact that he got the upper hand at all, that even puts even more on Braun's shoulders to beat the shit out of Shane. Shane McMahon is going to take a beating. Yeah. And Sunday, I don't even know, unless they decide they're not going to do a Mania match, we might see some quick diversion. Maybe Shane has somebody come out and do his dirty work for Braun. As far as I know, it's not a no DQ or anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I would love to see if the Mean Street Posse showed up. Can someone make that happen? I'm not even kidding. What is it? Rodney, Joey Abs, if these guys all showed up for Shane McMahon, I would kind of like, that would be fun.
Look, I keep an open mind. It's not the fun storyline build, but it's here. And, the more he gets one over on Braun, the more revenge Braun will get on Shane in the end. That's the way it's got to be. So, something else that is being built for Sunday. Alexa Bliss versus Randy Orton. Now, when this went down tonight, Randy Orton about to cut a promo, interrupted by Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss is on her swing. The Jack in the Box, is to the right of her. And basically, Alexa Bliss is saying, like, you want me out of your life. If you want me out of your life, this Sunday you get a chance. I had no idea this was interpreted as challenging a match. But later on, I forget, it was Mackenzie, I think she did. I think it was her. She says to Randy Orton, what do you have to say about Alexa Bliss challenging you to a match for Sunday? And I'm like, what? A match? So I think we all know what's going to happen. First of all, this is going to be pre-recorded. So you're going to see the hocus pocus special effects, pre-recorded stuff. The second thing is the Fiend will return on Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sarah Schreiber, thank you, One Full Podcast. It was Sarah Schreiber that asked him. But what do you think about this? Of course, the match is not going to go off. We may get what you and I talked about a couple of weeks ago, where he thinks he's in the ring with Alexa Bliss. And then this, because again, this is going to be this is going to be pre-recorded. We'll see some special effects going on, and then the Fiend should be coming out of nowhere. So,
yeah, either that or Soulja Boy. Dude, I like the idea of it. It's going to be a pre-recorded match. It's going to be a setup. We've been waiting for Bray Wyatt to come back. He has to come back at Fastlane. Fastlane makes the most sense. We talked about this over a month ago. We talked about this back when WWE mentioned that Fastlane was going to be the home for the network and for Peacock, that they were going to try to do something big. They were going to try and bring some people back. It makes perfect sense for Bray Wyatt to make his return at Fastlane, not just for the WWE Network people, but for also the NBC Peacock people as well.
Yes.
So, yeah, of course. And they're going to do a transition. It's going to be a pre-recorded. It's going to be a completely diagrammed match, and that's fine. There's not going to be anything wrong with that, because I don't think it's going to actually be a pinfall match.
No, she's going to come out with the box.
Right.
She's going to twirl it. Or maybe, do a twist. Let Randy Orton twirl it.
Sure.
Right? Let Randy Orton do it. Grab the box, and she's like a little freaked out about it, and let him do it but he's got to do it slow. And then pop goes the weasel, pop goes the weasel, because the weasel go pop. If anybody knows why I said that,
I don't
much
know.
love. Much love. If anybody in the chat room knows why I said that just now, T-shirt, any choice you want. Any choice you want. Seriously.
Any choice, guys.
Come on, somebody's got to know. Pop goes the weasel, pop goes the weasel, because the weasel goes pop. Of course it's out. There you go. Eddie Abrego. Eddie, email me, DonTony@DonTony.com. Third Base, one of my favorite rap groups back in the day.
You've disappointed many people here tonight, Eddie. I just want you to know that.
Yeah. Everyone else gets the gas face.
Yes.
Oh, man. Third base was awesome, man. Oh, by the way, the boombox. We were on Patreon last week. I have a bunch of boomboxes in my house. One of the boomboxes I have is on eBay right now for $3,800. I recorded yesterday a few seconds of the boombox blasting with the cassette in there to show you it still works. So, but look, I am really psyched that the Fiend will return Sunday. We could, and I think we said 2 weeks ago, give it 2 more weeks. Give it till Fastlane. Fiend will come back. That will leave 2 more Raws before Mania. So the Monday after, maybe a Fiend or actually we'll probably get Bray Wyatt in the 5 flat. Let me ask you this. You think the Fiend is going to come back with a different look?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely. I don't know if he'll completely change his gimmick, but yeah, they're going to spice him up for WrestleMania. You don't think so? Of course they will. He's been gone for a while. I would assume that Bray Wyatt's probably been working out, getting nice and jacked up, and at the same time.
No, but I'm saying people were saying he's going to have a completely different mask, a completely different look to himself. I think he comes back looking almost the same.
No, I think they're going to jack him up. It's Mania.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to throw in a few bucks. They're going to jack him up, yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. We finally... Tell you, it doesn't
I'm
sort of
forward to the grade A first class acting. That's what I'm looking forward to. That is the best part of this whole storyline, is the just perfection that is the acting chops of one Randall Keith Orton and one Alexa Bliss.
Go on, you gotta do it now. You gotta do it in the Randy Orton voice. Everything he says, he recaps.
Would you like to hear a promo? It's real boring. Would you?
Last week, I asked you if you wanted to hear a promo. I mean, even when Sarah asked him earlier, what do you think about Alexa challenging to a match? Instead of just saying, well, Sarah, blah, blah, blah. No, he's got to always answer. I notice this every week now. He answers a question with a question. So, Randy, what do you say about Alexa Bliss challenging you to a match at Sunday?
Would
you do it.
You not watch my segments? Because I won't watch my segments.
Oh, man, I'm jealous. I got to get my sound bar. I got to get my little soundboard. No, but he's like, Alexa asking me if I wanted to have a match early. He's got to always recap, even if it's 2 seconds earlier. Seriously. Oh, my God. But, hey, at least we're going to finally get this storyline to, turn the corner. So we got that Sunday. Now, another thing. I love all those people out there that tried to twist all this shit about Miz and oh no, Miz is gonna fight Bad Bunny 1-on-1. Oh, Miz is gonna fight Morrison. No, Miz will be in the title picture no matter what. Miz is this, Miz is that.
I will be honest. I would have loved to have seen Miz in the title picture. I'm sorry. I'm still going to be one of those guys that's thought that the idea of having 4 men at WrestleMania for the title would not have been a bad move.
You are getting 4 men at Mania. Just 2-on-2. 1-on-1, 2 matches, 4 people.
Well, I'm talking about just the Raw.
I know.
But that's okay.
Shout out to the family. Shout out to Sev V. Shout out to Kurt Ward. And who joined the family? King of Games, 405. King of Games. Oh, no. He's not. Who joined tonight as a member? I know somebody did. I'll shout him out after. But
was it Randy Orton?
No. I'll shout him out after. I have it somewhere. I'll pull it. But King of Games asks, is there anything I hope the Peacock app improves over the WWE Network? Is there anything that you hope Peacock will do better than what we have on the WWE Network?
The first thing and the most important thing is accessibility. Look, the WWE Network is fine, but considering how many shows they have and how many subsections they have in order to find other shit, They need to find a better way to access all this stuff. I hated going through the WWE Network and trying to remember where a certain thing was, because half the time you'd forget. And if you didn't wish list it, or no wish list, you know what I mean? If you didn't favorite it, then you didn't find it. So I hope there's a way that NBC figures it out, because right now, NBC Peacock, I'm not too crazy about their functionality. The way to find stuff on that app is not easy.
It's a hot mess.
Yeah.
It's a hot mess. Let's be honest. By the way, Rojo Bear, welcome to the family, Rojo Bear. By the way, our members, either this Thursday during the afternoon or Saturday, it's leading towards Saturday, we're going to do a little live call-in thing and Q&A to the members just to test out call-ins. Everybody's a member, so we'll have no trolls. So I will let everybody know by tomorrow which day we're doing. It looks like it's going to be Saturday. Anybody can't make it, you'll be able to send me questions, and we'll do it. We'll do it. But for a few people that asked, no, I have not activated my Peacock membership yet. I am waiting until probably right before Mania. I'm not trying to be a cheapskate. I mean, $4.99, it's not a big deal. Right? Huh?
Tomorrow is the day that it activates over as the network, or at least stage one of the network, right?
Yes, but then WWE Network will still be good until April. Like I said, I actually talked to someone today about these, and I said, look, there was this one guy that was supposed to get back to me from WWE Corp. I understand that they're very busy, but I waited a week and he never got back to me. And I'm not one of those to send a follow-up email, just following up my last email. So I contacted someone else and they said they would get back to me within a day or two. I mean, honestly, I was very tempted to just say why can't I just get a simple answer? There's a lot of people that have these unused network cards. There's a lot of people who bought 6-month cards.
Because they don't have an answer yet. That's why.
No, I think they do.
They're stalling you. No, I don't think that they're stalling you because they just, it's Don Tony, so let's just keep them on hold. I think they don't have a genuine answer yet because there's probably a lot of conflicting issues with it. Because you got to figure, I mean, it's nice that you're talking about the registered cards and stuff like that, but you got to figure the database to try and access all those cards that are still good and find some way in order to transfer that over to a different medium, like just for WWE Zone, or even if they try to do something with NBC or whatever, taking everything that they've already had set up and literally transferring it to something else. That's somebody's job, and I'm sure somebody's not looking forward to doing that.
Yeah. It reminds me of the autographed cards. If anybody's bought in WWE autograph cards in the last 5-6 years, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes you open up a pack and there's a redemption card, and it'll say, and I remember clearly, oh, you can redeem this card for exclusively 1 in 25, Bret the Hitman Hart. And you mail the card in, or you go on, I think it was Topps website, and you type in a code or whatever, and you type in your address, and within a week or two, they ship you the card. I got a lot of those cards, the redemption cards. They do it in baseball packs all the time. Yeah. This should be the same setup. You just enter your code and let the people have what would be smart if they let people have it as a credit towards merchandise. Because if you have a $20 credit, 3 months credit, which would be $29.97. When you buy a shirt with tax and shipping, it's more than $29.97. So you put the credit towards it, you're going to end up having that person pay a little bit extra anyway, and who knows? They might buy another shirt. They might buy something else too. So that's what I think they should do. So we'll see. We'll see. What else did we get on Raw tonight? A lot of Raw tonight led to Mania. It's leading the Fastlane. I thought it was an excellent lead in the Fastlane, to be honest with you. Fastlane seemed very SmackDown heavy going into tonight. Not anymore. Yeah. We'll get into the full card after. But getting back to the Bad Bunny situation.
Yeah. So I guess he's not going to be the celebrity match at WrestleMania, huh?
Well, it's going to be the tag match. He's on the WrestleMania banner, so he's wrestling.
But I mean, it's not going to be for the actual 20.
No, well, for those that missed Raw tonight, tomorrow is 316 day. Now, I forgot to plug it last week, but they have, I think, a book coming out that the publisher asked me to promote. It's to celebrate Austin 316. Oh, okay. I have it in my computer. You know, I'll post it Friday for the details. I'm surprised WWE hasn't pushed that one better. But anyway, to celebrate 316 Day, R-Truth pretty much going along with it. Today's March 15th. He thinks it's 316 Day, so he's off by a day. That's vintage R-Truth. He's got a beer. He's with, in front of the girls. And we'll get to that women's tag match in a moment. And then later on, he's got a lunchbox that would, I guess they're trying to play off that he was going to hit Bad Bunny with it. Bad Bunny is with Damian Priest. Bad Bunny won a Grammy yesterday, by the way.
Yes.
I heard the Grammy sucked. I heard it scored less than a 50% rating from the year before.
The Poppy segment was okay.
Okay.
All right.
Did she win anything? Well, she won your heart. That's what matters.
Yes. Did you see all the backlash on poor Bill Burr?
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Why? Because a white person is married to a black person.
No, because, okay.
Well, that's pretty much the backlash.
No, the backlash is because he mispronounced some of the names when he was... Okay, so for whatever reason, I know this is a total segue, just 1 second. So Bill Burr got flack for being on the Grammys yesterday, doing the Latin Grammy award nominations, and he screwed up some of the names because he talks in a very Boston accent, and he just doesn't roll his R's correctly. And then he made a comment about, can you imagine how mad the feminists are that I'm up here doing this? And so that started the rolling, and people said some pretty disgusting stuff about him and his wife.
Right, but they pretty much, what I kept seeing posted tonight was that for some reason he's racist because he's married to a black woman.
No, they're saying he's racist because he mispronounced the Spanish names.
Somebody said that you could actually marry.
No.
There's one tweet going around. I'm not going to repeat it. Even if Bruce Mitchell said it, I wouldn't repeat it.
They're just using that. They're just saying that to get at him. But the reason that people freaked out was because he mispronounced the name.
Wasn't intentional.
No, of course it wasn't. It's just Bill Burr. If you've ever seen Bill Burr, it's just Burr. It's a Boston boy. Not good with rolling R.
Sorry, I just drank seltzer. That was my burping impersonation. No, that was Bill Burp.
Bill Burp. Yeah.
Bill Burp. Bill Burp will make another appearance later. So,
shout out to the Monday Morning Podcast. Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. Joe Punches says Bill gives no fucks. Neither do I. I honestly could care less about Bill Burr. I could care less about the Miro Cornette situation. I could care less about the Kardashians. I could care less about the Bellas saying that they're going to have a return match in 2021. I care less about it.
Well, we're talking about WWE Hall of Famer 2020, Nikki and Brie, stars of Total Bellas, stars of Total Divas, Bella Twins.
Yeah. No. Well, anyway, Bad Bunny. R-Truth teases like he's going to hit Bad Bunny with a lunchbox, a 316 lunchbox, limited edition for some reason. I thought it was going to whip out like a thermos, but it was a beer inside.
No, it's limited edition because it's metal.
It's limited edition because it's metal?
Yeah, you can't have metal lunchboxes anymore.
Am I supposed to know?
Because it happened 15 years ago that they banished metal lunchboxes because kids were using them in cafeterias to take out other kids.
That's true. The metal
lunchbox is plastic and rubber. Yeah, this is old school. Old school.
I don't follow that. I'm supposed to know. I used to have my metal lunchboxes. I never ever thought about I'll tell you the truth. There's a kid being a wrestling fan, the more I think about it, man, if ECW came out in like 1985, 1983 instead of 1993, holy shit. I would have been in grammar school, and I would have just, he's hardcore. I would have just smashed the lunchbox into someone. Would have taken like the hot coffee inside and just poured it over the guy's face. He's hardcore. He's hardcore. Oh, I would have gotten thrown out of school even earlier. A lot of people don't know the story about me getting thrown out of grammar school. Yep. 4th grade, got kicked out of my grammar school, had to go to a different school. So, Bad Bunny, R-Truth teases he's going to hit Bad Bunny. He gets caught by Damian Priest and Bad Bunny. Damian Priest is given a beer by R-Truth. R-Truth has got the limited edition Steve Austin title, which looks pretty nice. And Bad Bunny's basically like, what you want? What you want? And R-Truth's like, I want my baby back. R-Truth offers Bad Bunny the Steve Austin title, the lunchbox, a little stuffed animal of Steve Austin. He wants to give Bad Bunny in a trade the belt, the merchandise for the 24/7 title.
And he even said please.
And he even said please, yes. And I tell you, I don't have any problem with Bad Bunny being on this team. Because, when he's like, I like you, I respect you, I respect this business. You deserve this title. Obviously, Bad Bunny was not going to be defending it, so he gives R-Truth the 24/7 championship. Now, we're wondering if there's a swerve and maybe Damian Priest lays out R-Truth, but that would be a dick move. But R-Truth realizes he's got his baby back. And R-Truth, with the white of his eyes, and he's like, he's got his baby back. So they made a trade. I know, you're just giving someone a title, but it's the 24/7 title.
There's more to it. There's more to it because after the thing with Damian Priest and Elias tonight, not to skip forward too much, but when those four have their match, I wouldn't be surprised if R-Truth makes the save for Bad Bunny.
Okay.
Like, I can almost see it like as a payback. I got your back on this one, bro. So I don't mind the storyline. I can see where it's going. R-Truth deserves the belt. Bad Bunny wasn't going to defend the belt even in mini matches or whatever else like that. Fair. So they actually just pass it off that way. It's a unique way to lose the title. Didn't have to get pinned. He just gave it off to him, which fair enough. But I think that there's going to be more to it. I don't think it was just a way to give it to R-Truth and then be done with the whole thing. I think that maybe Bad Bunny is around at least until Mania, and then maybe R-Truth makes the save or saves him from somebody when Damian Priest is out. You know what I mean? So
now, we've said since day one that we didn't have any problem with Bad Bunny being on WWE TV. He's a celebrity, yes, but this is a lifelong wrestling fan. We hear the stories of him working his ass off at the Performance Center, taking everything in, listening to everyone, not acting like this pompous multi-millionaire, who knows he's getting, the carte blanche, the treatment. He's not doing any of that. So we have no problem with it. I'd rather it be someone who really, truly loves wrestling and is not just using it as something to put on their resume. But I ask you this. What do you think about the fact that as you see this coming together, that Bad Bunny, part of the agreement may have been that when he comes in, I no lose. I'm not saying it was his decision, but he gets the 24/7 title, never loses it, hands it to... Now, again, I'm not trying to be a jerk here. We are fine with him. But if you really want to be devil's advocate for a minute, I respect this. I respect you. I respect this business. If you respect this business, you don't just give somebody a title. You know what I mean? You don't just stand up. You fight like a man. So, my thing is going into Mania, the visual of him being rolled up and pinned, not even hit. I know they did the guitar shot today, but the visual of him being rolled up and lose, we don't have that. And my initial thoughts is he no lose at WrestleMania either. So when you look back on it, like everything for Bad Bunny was booked to make him always look like $1 million for the most part. Do you have any problem with that?
No, I mean, he's a celebrity. That's what they're using. You know, I thought that there should have been a little bit more interaction with him, wrestling-wise. That was the whole argument that I've always made, but I didn't have any problem with him not losing or, you know, getting his ass handed to him. That wasn't the point. That was actually the point that Damian Priest was there, because Damian Priest was his buddy, but he was also kind of the bodyguard. So I don't know. He's done a good job in my opinion.
Yeah, I like that he brought it to Saturday Night Live. I like that he wasn't embarrassed. Like, oh, this thing, this is a joke. You know, he didn't like
having fun with it.
Yeah, he was having fun.
I don't
That's what you want.
Well, yeah.
If you're gonna have a celebrity, this might be for 2021 and beyond. This might be the perfect celebrity. If you could have someone in ring, like Poppy, you know, fits in great with NXT as, you know, musician and everything. But there are some people that if you're going to have celebrity involvement, this is a hell of a lot better than Michael Che and some of these others from back in the day, or even that guy that, you know, was on that show that Edge appeared on a few times, Arrowhead or whatever it was.
Arrow.
Yeah, something like that. So, yeah, no problem with it. No problem with it. But R-Truth is and as soon as R-Truth had the belt, now everybody decides to chase him again.
Right.
They don't chase Bad Bunny. But
Why
then
would
again,
they?
I don't think even if we chased a bunny, we probably couldn't catch it. So, shout out to Crazy Cruiserweight. He's hoping that we're doing well. We are. He thinks AEW should be happy that men's March Madness aren't on Wednesdays. The majority are on TNT, TBS, and True TV. Yeah, ratings excuses, but look, I don't know if it's sunk in for a lot of people. In 3 weeks, pretty much, this head-to-head is almost over. There's going to be some special nights where they may have to go head-to-head again because of, you know, sports. But it's only a couple of weeks away, and that's it. Now we could focus on one product and one product. That is going to be very interesting because you can no longer blame it on the other wrestling product being on the same night. What do you blame it on? You blame it on nice weather? Do you blame it on, you know, you run out of excuses. That's why when a lot of podcasters and websites and journalists decide to go into that rabbit hole about dissecting demos and using excuses, now you just lost one major excuse. And if those ratings don't improve tremendously, you're going to run out of excuses. And that's where you realize that some of these people out there hurt AEW a hell of a lot more than people realize.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, now that we're on the topic of ratings, do you think that having Monday night AEW Elevation, Dark Elevation, is going to show any effect on Raw ratings?
No.
Curiosity. No?
No. Because it's a show that you could watch anytime. It's on YouTube. So it's very rare. I mean, unless you want the first airing of, like, I think NWA, for the last 2 years, NWA is probably the only show that when it aired first run on YouTube, that was, I think, the only show where I wanted to see it first run. I didn't want to wait a couple of hours for the replay. I think when it comes to AEW, first of all, they announce the matches in advance. So I could see some people tuning in for, you know, maybe Rio versus Maki Ito. But, I mean, I'd be shocked if there was more than maybe 100,000, 200,000 views within the first. Does anyone want to do us a favor? Go on YouTube for a second. Let us know the current view count for tonight's Elevation show. Like I said, I just watched some very brief clips of it. I was curious with Big Show. I saw what you wrote. Big Show kind of sounded like he's got a little southern vibe to his voice, like a little southern accent.
197,000 right now, so 200K.
Okay, so about 200K. Yeah. And look, we don't know how many.
Look, and I know people are telling me that he's from where was it, like South Carolina, North Carolina, something like that, or I forgot exactly where Paul White's actually origin was from, but yeah, no, it was kind of weird that I've never really caught his southern drawl before. Usually when he talks on television, even in movies and his TV show, he doesn't have it. But all of a sudden tonight I noticed it. Everybody's like, oh, that's normal. He does it all the time. And I'm like, well, no, if you watch his movies, if you watch even the Big Show that just came out not that long ago,
right? He
didn't have a southern drawl there. So I don't know what happened. Maybe he's been spending a lot of time in the South, or maybe he's just adapting to the company. But yeah, I caught it a little bit tonight. Threw me off a little. It's not normally how he sounds, but he did an okay job.
Okay. You know? Getting back to Raw, are we all pretty much in agreement now? Even though some people hoped otherwise, Jaxson Ryker, that's pretty much it. I mean, you lost Damian Priest in about 30 seconds tonight. They've done zero with this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there's some people out there that think he has tremendous upside despite the political controversy from 2020, but I just don't see where this guy fits in. Like, there's nothing, and I'm not trying to be a jerk right now. You look at a wrestler, and you know what I'm talking about, and I know a lot of people are as well. You're watching wrestling for enough years. You look at a wrestler, and you can tell if there's some, like, maybe hidden quality or something about them that you could feel. Like, Goldberg would probably be the most cosmetic example of it. Like, Goldberg, when he first started, like, the match with Hugh Morris, you know, was impressive, but I don't think anybody really thought about it that much that day. Then when he got another win, like, you knew, maybe we could even say that about Raquel Gonzalez. You know, not on that level, obviously, but you know something is there. And you feel like something, you know, could be put together. I don't feel that with Jaxson Ryker. No matter how good he looks, no matter how good he wrestles in the ring, it just feels like something is tremendously missing in that guy. I just don't feel it at all.
Right. Yeah. No,
I think some people may feel that way about Andrade.
Yeah. And some people felt that about Aleister Black apparently too. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, we can. What do you have to say about it?
Well, so I mean, I saw a lot of people this weekend really happy at the idea that Andrade was going to leave WWE, or was attempting to leave WWE, I should say. And it kind of threw me off. It's like, why would anybody be happy about that? The guy's a very talented wrestler. You know, I know he's been off of TV for a few months, if not a little bit longer than a few months. But you know, his girl, fiance, aren't they engaged now?
Yes.
Charlotte, and yeah, so his fiance is there, so he would be leaving his fiance. You know, apparently he at some point requested his release, and I don't know, man. It feels a little sad to me that the guy is so unhappy that he wants to leave all of that and go somewhere else to hone his craft. You know, at the same time, you're leaving your fiance into a different company, and I don't know, man. It just feels like he must be really sad with his scenario that he just wants to leave all of that. And he didn't do anything, right? Like, there's no news about him ever doing anything to WWE. Like, he's not a problem, is he? Like, is he a guy that causes problems in the back, or
not heard any behavioral issues at all? I just. You know, just something just never completely clicked with that guy. And I truthfully believe that Angel Garza has been hurt more with this split than anything else. Yeah. Because Angel Garza, I mean, you know, it's amazing because if I remember correctly, he won the 24/7 title around Christmas time. And they were showing like a year earlier compared to then. I think a year earlier he may have won a title in NXT also. But you look back on it, all that hype with the Rose and everything like that. I think Angel Garza suffered even worse. Zelina Vega leaving probably also hurt it because they wanted that Latin stable. I mean, I know the storyline was, they were breaking apart, but still, it just, all three elements suffered tremendously as a result. Look,
Do you think that Zelina Vega had anything to do with that? Do you think that they may have been punished because of her decisions? Because that's one name that's not brought up, but she was integral to that storyline. When those guys were that way on TV, she was in the middle of that.
But for WWE, if they thought they can make money with Andrade further, to ruin that opportunity and not do it simply as a fuck you to Zelina Vega or a payback or something, I think that would be I could see if, a no-name company or one of us, would sacrifice fundage but WWE, I don't think they would play like that, seriously. If they seriously thought they could bring him back to the main roster and, generate some momentum and see potential, I think it would happen. But I think, see, it's rough because a lot of these same people are talking about, oh, maybe Andrade could go to AEW and, turn it up a notch. And Tony Khan wanted to speak with Zelina Vega. I'm like, whoa. Say what you want about how Mirdo's been used and say what you want about, what Christian's going to do or not do. But if you're going to use they just signed in WWE cast-offs like TNA did. Andrade is not a cast-off just because you like him. You know what I mean? You can't have it both ways. Me personally, look, I am open-minded with Christian and Mirdo and everyone else. But Andrade, unfortunately, and I brought this up Friday a little bit, this is not a knock on him and this is not a knock on WWE, but WWE has a certain formula that they go by. I mean, the formula has pretty much been consistent for decades. And Andrade, that formula, there's a couple of elements missing. And you add the fact that Zelina Vega is another element that's been taken away, and Angel Garza is another element that they, took away. What are you left with? You're left with, I don't know, a more talented Humberto Carrillo. By the way, Humberto Carrillo, I don't know if anybody's seen him working out in the gym.
Big, yeah.
He's turned into a monster.
He's huge. He doesn't even look like the same guy. He's huge.
Yeah. So,
and he's got facial hair and back hair now.
Remember I said that? He needs facial hair. Get rid of that goofy haircut. Add facial hair. So, just to fill in the rest of tonight, Drew McINTYre beating The Miz. His match with The Miz is similar to Bobby Lashley taking on Sheamus today. It was a little goofy to see Sheamus beating down Bobby Lashley earlier on the night. You know that was only done to set up the match, the main event tonight. But to me, both matches were the same. Drew McINTYre beats The Miz using Lashley's Hurt Lock. Lashley beats beats Sheamus using Drew McINTYre's finishers.
Right.
That's pretty much what those two matches were tonight. Both of them were very good. I mean, Drew and Miz.
It was fast. It was too fast. I didn't like the fact that Miz was gone so fast. That was not a long match. And considering that Miz was just champion a few weeks ago, it looked embarrassing. I don't know.
The only thing I'm getting sick of is that over dramatic ejections. I mean, I could understand a referee getting animated. But, John Morrison, by the way, I know this is really far-fetched. You take notice of John Morrison's hair tonight? His hairstyle?
No. Why? What was wrong with it?
There was nothing wrong with it, but it was very pasted on the sides. I should, maybe during the show, I'll get a picture off of social media. Anybody out there have any thought? I like thinking outside the box. I'm going to try to find a picture right now from tonight. Ah, shit. I'm not you know what? I could log in with another browser because I don't have my Chrome logged in. But he had the sides of his head. It looked like he shaved his sides, but it was very, very pasted back. And I know this is going to sound ridiculous.
Yeah, Edge did the same thing on Edge, and Seth did the same thing on SmackDown. That's just kind of the look. That's the new hipster look. Pull your hair so tight.
I don't know. I don't know if this look is so. Yeah, I found one now. Actually, as I found the picture, I see that a lot of people online are cracking some funny jokes about it. But yeah, I was looking at it closely, and I'm not trying. And look, this is probably one of the most far-fetched things I have ever said. But I want to show you the picture, and then I'll tell you why I'm saying this. Here, here's the picture. Oh, where did the picture go? Wait, where did the picture go? Hang on a minute. Let me see. Shit. Okay, here's the picture. They're making a lot of jokes of him right now. Oh, it's on my desktop. Okay, hang on a second. Why don't you plug your Thursday show while I go grab the picture really quick?
All right.
Yeah, plug Soup.
Wrestling Soup every Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Myself and Joey Numbers live on Spreaker. We do about an hour and a half on Thursdays. That's usually our flagship show. And there's the picture. Yeah,
there is the picture. It kind of reminded me of this. Let me see if I could pull this up. Okay, hold on. Let me pull up a picture of. Go figure that the pictures aren't showing up. All right, here we go. Hang on. There we go. All right. Let me just pull a picture. I don't know why this is taking so long to load. Oh, this sucks. Well, anyway, you know how Taya Valkyrie always, has her hairstyle where it's like short on the sides, like pasted on the sides?
Right.
I thought that was like a little tribute to his girl.
It might be.
I mean, I'm trying to find, unfortunately, you know what? Okay, here. This is a bad example, but, unfortunately she posts, I don't go on her social media much, but she apparently posts like tons and tons of pictures that have nothing to do with her. So I just had to go through a whole bunch. But yeah, I found this. I'm wondering if it's possible that maybe this is a little like sort of tribute to like, how she has her hair. How she usually has it pasted on the sides.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I was just thinking about that earlier, because that is his woman. So, but John Morrison, are you kidding me? You're the worst. Like just flipping out on the referee, like this over dramatic ejections. I hate that. It's so annoying. I mean, he's gotten ejected like 10 times in the last year. And right. Are you kidding me? It's just too over dramatic. Hate it. Dana Brooke, Mandy Rose, beating Lana and Naomi, Nia and Shayna are at ringside. Nia mostly on commentary. Little talk about Reginald, little talk about Fastlane. They were given the announcers by Saxton not Saxton. Tom Phillips was given some credit to Lana, and I think Nia said something like for a dancer, like as far as her ability in the ring. But I thought something really weird happened tonight during that match. I don't know if anybody else noticed it. Naomi took like a slapjack, and she disappeared for 2 or 3 minutes. The last 2 or 3 minutes of the match, she is nowhere to be found. Lana gets pinned. She loses. She, was getting beat up from Mandy Rose, from Dana Brooke, and she gets pinned. Naomi is nowhere to be found. Even after Lana got pinned, Naomi was nowhere to be found. I'm wondering if Naomi got injured. I'm not trying to stir anything up, but if anybody missed that match, go watch it. She disappeared for the last 3 minutes of the match. So just something to take notice about. I mean, the match really wasn't much of anything. What I think is happening, you think of the Riot Squad, you think of Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose, you think of Naomi and Lana. The more and more I think about it, the more and more I think Nia and Shayna will defend those titles at Mania, and it'll be like a 6-team match. Like you're going to see all of these teams competing against Shayna and Nia and Mania. That's what it feels like, because it doesn't feel like there's any clear-cut number one contenders. I'm not doing predictions until Friday because some matches may be added, but I still feel like there is no way that Sasha and Bianca are going to win those belts. There's just not enough time to win them, lose them, have the falling out.
Right.
We're only 2-3 weeks away. So I think we're just going to get a bunch of tag teams, and they're all going to battle, maybe a battle royal or something, or a gauntlet match. I think Nia and Shayna are going to defend it in some type of gauntlet. Do you feel that anything else they could do at Mania? Because I don't feel nothing. Oh, you froze for a second.
Am I still frozen?
No, you're good. You're good. I put you on 1080 tonight. That's why. I sped up the quality a little bit. But what do you think? You think gauntlet match for Nia and Shayna at Mania? Because I don't feel there's any number one contenders coming out of this. And I don't think, as of right now, unless I change my mind by Friday, I don't think Bianca and Sasha are winning those belts.
Well, are you thinking gauntlet, or do you think it would be better just to do like a 4-way tag team match? That could be even cool.
Depends on, see, this is how I look at it. We got the Riot Squad. They tried to tease that they had some potential for tag belts. Can't leave out Tamina and Natty. They won Friday. I think that win was designed, obviously, to stir up a little, conflict with Sasha and Bianca, but also they got to win. So they should get another match.
Yeah, easily.
You know what I mean? Like, you look at it, there's like 5 or 6 subpar teams that all seem to be in the same level right now. So I think Nia and Shayna defends the title against all of them.
Could be. Yeah.
So,
you don't think there's going to be any comeuppance for Nia not really helping out Shayna tonight?
No, because for those that missed it, towards the end of the women's tag match, Asuka's music hits. And, obviously, accidentally, but Shayna knocked Asuka's tooth out a couple of weeks ago. Right. So Asuka was coming out to get a little revenge on Shayna. Shayna puts the headset down. She says, let me beat her up a little more. So she goes at it with Asuka a little bit. And, this was just weird because it just seemed to cause a distraction in the tag match. Yes. And you know what? The more I think about it, I'm wondering, is it possible that the Asuka coming out for that second might have been a diversion because maybe Naomi did get injured? I don't know. But they had a little bit of a pull apart. Asuka and Shayna are having a match later on. So later on, we get a match with Asuka and Shayna. Asuka beats her pretty convincingly. But Asuka, I guess, just to get a little bit of momentum back, she just beat the crap out of Shayna. Nia, like you said, doesn't help her at all. I think Nia tried to interfere early on, if I remember correctly, and didn't Asuka nail her also? But
right.
Yeah, I think this was just designed because, look, it was an accident that a tooth got knocked out, but they wanted her to get her momentum back. Charlotte didn't come out.
You don't think they're trying to give her a Becky moment, do you?
No, I think they just wanted to make Asuka feel as superior as possible. This way, next week when Charlotte comes out to confront her, and maybe Rhea Ripley as well, Asuka feels like she's got a little momentum behind her. She just beat Shayna convincingly, got some revenge on the tooth being knocked out. So you want to make Asuka feel on top and not
dude.
a joke, after the Alexa Bliss stuff. For next week when she gets confronted.
I just had an aneurysm. I just had a wrestling aneurysm, a Mistradamus moment. So you were talking about the idea of having a gauntlet match for the tag team titles, for the women's tag team titles at WrestleMania. That makes sense because, one of the teams that is going to have to come out is going to be the Bellas, right?
Oh, no.
Can I make that Mistradamus prediction?
You can.
If there's going to be a gauntlet match for the women's tag team belts, Nikki and Brie Bella are going to be in that gauntlet match.
Do you think they would win?
Oh boy, I hope.
Damn you. I have nothing against them personally. But I figured but seriously, I truthfully believe I figured them out years ago. They're all about, don't forget us, everyone. Because I think I've been saying this for the last 2 or 3 years. Like, you get around WrestleMania time and they do that interview that, I'm going to see the doctor next week and, I'm training really hard and you're going to see us back. And then it leads to nothing. And then they try to play it off like, unfortunately, there's nothing for us right now. And then, my neck is not as good as I thought it would be. And then 9 months go by and then there's the updated interview with the same shit.
You know what? My Mistradamus prediction last week is coming true.
Oh.
Talking about the new Day with Matt Riddle filling in for Big E. Boy, oh boy, they were pushing that angle, the best buddies angle tonight, weren't they?
They were.
It's not there yet. The Mistradamus prediction hasn't completely come true, but they are definitely leaving everybody some breadcrumbs that the new Day with Matt Riddle is going to be a thing.
I think it would be comedy gold. I just don't know if they would do that. I think because Riddle, we don't have live fans in attendance, and I think having Riddle with some really good guys that fans like, I think that rubs off on Riddle. Because I'm even enjoying Riddle stuff. They've tweaked it a little bit.
Yes,
but I like that he's having fun on a little scooter thing, and Ali is with Retribution in the back, and he just flies by right between them and everything, just happy-go-lucky. Because that's how I feel about Riddle the last month. It went from stoned, brain dead, beachcomber to now happy-go-lucky, just enjoying life.
He's better as a happy-go-lucky face than whatever that nonsense was that they had him on a few months ago even. So, yeah, he's doing a lot better now. I agree with that. But I'm just saying when it comes to bad things coming true or odd or unwanted things coming true, I have just a nose for this shit.
Well, since you brought up New Day, let's talk about it. New Day versus the Hurt Business. Damn, man. Loved that picture last week of Hurt Business, Cedric, Shelton, Bobby Lashley, MVP, posing with the titles. There was another picture, I don't know if you saw it, where 3 belts were just in the ring with MVP's, chained in a nameplate, draped around it.
Right.
And, when I saw that one, I had a little bad feeling. I'm like, they're really pushing this tribute pictures a little bit. Did I think they were going to lose the belts tonight? No. I thought maybe there would have been a bullshit finish and it leads to a match at Fastlane. But we got a straight-up match tonight. No interference. The New Day. Was this 11 times now? Tag team champions. They beat Cedric and Shelton today. No teasing of a falling out with Shelton and Cedric like we had a month and a half ago. But New Day win the belts clean. And match was excellent. But you could see what WWE did. Before you could even think about the fact that the Hurt Business, now only one person has gold, and, this title change today, out comes AJ Styles with Omos.
Right.
And AJ Styles challenges the New Day for a match at WrestleMania. And, you know, the back and forth was a little goofy. You know, like, you even a tag team? But Omos and AJ Styles are apparently a licensed tag team now. The New Day accept the challenge. So now at WrestleMania, we are going to have Omos's main roster in-ring debut, teaming up with AJ Styles to take on the New Day for the Raw tag team titles. What's your thoughts?
I don't know. I'm looking forward to it, though. I think that it'll be a good match. I think that, do you think that they'll regain?
I tell you the truth, man.
They wait for that, or do you think they wait for Mania? Because I almost have this feeling like you're going to have all of them win their titles at Mania and have some kind of big stable moment. Because right now, let's be honest, they're on fire. And so the idea that you can get all four of those guys together with gold by Mania, I think that might be interesting.
Yeah, see, obviously, we're not getting a tag team rematch at Fastlane. So
no.
Cedric,
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying leading up to. I mean, yeah.
I'm just like, I'm trying to picture AJ Styles and Omos having the tag belts. And although it would be interesting and it would be somewhat comedic, I just don't picture Omos wrestling on a semi-regular basis on Raw. You know what I mean? So I just don't see that. At the same point,
Omos. When do we see Omos step into the ring as a competitor?
I've seen this. There's some matches of him on YouTube.
No. I'm not saying. Okay, I'm not saying that. I'm like in his WWE run right now with AJ Styles. When do we see him going in as a competitor, as a regular competitor for a title or anything like that? Is that something that you see as a possibility? Or
WrestleMania.
Is it
well, that's happened in Mania. That tag match is happening in Mania. So I just don't see Omos and AJ Styles.
Okay. Right.
I don't see them coming out of Mania with those belts because I don't see AJ and Omos wrestling on a regular basis, defending those titles after that.
I got everything confused. My apologies.
Because Fastlane throws everybody off because then there's no tag title match at Fastlane.
Right.
But I'm getting used to AJ and Omos as a little tandem. I don't want to see them split up, and I'm starting to wonder if maybe there's a little bit of miscommunication. Maybe AJ Styles gets a little bit pissed off at Omos, and maybe they have the falling out. I think it would be a little too soon, but that would not surprise me if that happened at Mania as well.
Yeah, I can see that.
So
it'll be pushed. It'll be rushed, though.
Oh, yeah.
Really rushed.
Yeah, it will. But hey, we'll see what happens. But I'm curious to see how much he has improved since the footage that we have available online. He was not bad, but for someone his size, think Great Khali, think of the, I don't think people understand how talented Big Show was for his size. A lot of what he did, a lot of giant wrestlers just do one move. They would interpret as methodical, one move. Really can't, reverse this, tell a story. It's all one move, power. Oh, I missed. That's pretty much we may get. Very simple. As Darren says, simple yet effective.
Yeah.
So, Fastlane is Sunday, Darren. Fastlane is Sunday. So the only other match tonight that we had, and by the way, big shout out to Bud Ardis. Welcome to the family, my friend. Perfect timing, especially if you want to join us possibly this weekend. It's either going to be Thursday or Saturday, or you can send the questions and be doing a little thing. So I just check out the post on the memberships. So the only other match that we had tonight was Riddle retaining the United States Championship against Mustafa Ali. Retribution was at ringside. And excellent match. But what ends up happening is towards the end of the match, Ali goes for a pin. Riddle kind of reverses it. Almost, I don't know if it was a roll-up, but was it Dijakovic that jumped the ring chat? I think Dijakovic climbed to the ring apron. Referee distracted. So Riddle reverses it, hits the Bro Derek on Mustafa Ali, and for some reason, Retribution doesn't run in the ring, doesn't cause a referee distraction. I mean, I understand it was very quick, but yeah, Soulfly says it was Dijakovic. Dijakovic climbed the apron to distract the referee. It backfired. Ali gets pinned, and all you see and hear Ali saying is, I had this. No, if you look at the storyline, you didn't have it. But once again, berating Retribution. Earlier in the night, he's telling Retribution, I'm sick of all this losing. I'm going to show you how to win. And he loses. So is it pretty much what we've been saying for a couple of months now, that by WrestleMania, this team is just fed up with Ali and just walk out on him?
Well, I still think that there needs to be a beatdown, but yeah, no, it's definitely coming sooner or later. You can't just keep flipping out on your guys and expect no repercussions from it. So
retribution gets retribution.
Yes. So
it was a fun match. I tell you, look, New Day winning the tag titles was a big surprise. Riddle retaining, I don't think there was any surprise there. But Sunday, we have Fastlane. Now, again, matches could be added later this week. I'm sure you're doing predictions on Soup Thursday. I will be doing predictions at the end of the week also. But the matches lined up for Fastlane as of right now, we got 6 matches total. And going into today, it was heavily SmackDown. 3 matches on SmackDown, 1 for Raw. After tonight, we have 4 matches from SmackDown and 2 from Raw. So, and technically, Nia and Shayna are on technically both, brands. So, right. But anyway, what we have Sunday is Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon, which we still think is going to bleed into WrestleMania. We have Big E versus Apollo for the IC title. And as we've been saying for 3.5 weeks now, concern for Nakamura, because now it pretty much feels apparent that was smoke and mirrors, what we got. You agree? Like early in the year, like we felt like, oh my God, give Daniel Bryan credit. He's like really pushing Nakamura, and it's gone to nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, he's still popping up on TV, so at least he's out there. But
yeah,
I don't know. I don't feel like he's in the contention for anything right now. So
yeah, I like that, David. Kind of like when Bobby Heenan slapped Andrade, and they had the breakup at WrestleMania 6. I could see that. I tell you, I wonder, you think the fans would pop if AJ slapped Omos and Omos grabbed AJ?
I don't think they have the same kind of dynamic relationship that Bobby and Andre did. So
yeah, I agree.
And you know what? The weird thing is that Omos doesn't really have the charisma right now. I don't think that he's been around long enough for people to boo AJ Styles for that. I think it would be mixed emotions, and that's what you don't want. So.
I personally think you change nothing with Omos right now. Leave him with AJ Styles. You could have the occasional match, but I personally think keep them together because they're a little fun together. Omos definitely, he doesn't talk that much, and I don't think you want the sole spotlight on him.
Right.
So, well, we will see. But again, Big E versus Apollo for the IC title. Nia and Shayna defending the women's tag titles against Sasha and Bianca Belair. Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan. This Friday, we will have Edge returning to the ring on SmackDown, first time in over 10 years. He takes on Jey Uso. The winner becomes the special enforcer, not special guest referee, but enforcer. Big E taking on Apollo Crews. And remember, the winner of Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan goes on to take on Edge at Mania. And, you know, when you think about it, it's kind of like goofy to have Edge as a special guest enforcer when he has the match going to Mania.
Right.
But that's why I think Jimmy Uso returns. I think you do your damnedest to get Daniel Bryan in that match too. Let Daniel Bryan and Edge have a little bit of a falling out and let the night end in controversy.
They kind of did on SmackDown a little bit. You saw them bump heads charismatically a little bit. So they were planting the seed there.
Yeah. I want to see a clusterfuck finish. So Daniel Bryan, it feels like he got screwed again. And maybe Adam Pearce puts Daniel Bryan in that match for Mania. So we'll see. Yeah. And then we have Drew McINTYre versus Sheamus. One-on-one match. I tell you, it was a little weird because, you know, they announced their match for Fastlane. Towards the end of the night, Drew comes out to cut a promo. And obviously he's going to stay at ringside to watch Bobby Lashley take on Sheamus. But when Drew was cutting his promo, he's recapping the last 2 weeks against Sheamus. They had the brawl 2 weeks ago that you and I said it's a match we're going to remember for a very long time. Excellent. Last week, I don't know if you saw the pictures of their backs the next day after their match. They were beat down big time.
Yeah.
And he's recapping it, and then he talks about Sunday, and I'm saying to myself, okay, he's going to announce a stipulation that is going to end this war. But all he says is, you know, like, oh, I dress like this all the time. I don't have to buy pants and tops and bottoms. And, oh, Sunday we're going to beat the pants out of each other again. And I know it's a horrible impersonation, but, like, there was no stipulation. You recapped the 2 weeks. So obviously you want Sunday to feel the biggest out of the three, and there was no stipulation added. I don't know. I felt a little let down with that.
Yeah.
So, but so that's what we got right now. So, you know, you could see everything forming together for Mania. You know, it looks like what we've been saying for months: Miz and Morrison versus Damian Priest and Bad Bunny. We'll see what happens with the heavyweight title matches. We'll see if Brock appears. If Brock appears, he's got to appear either Sunday or Monday. I think that's pretty much a given. He doesn't show up Sunday or Monday, that's it. It's going to be Drew versus Lashley.
Right.
Shane versus Braun, I think, will still happen at Mania. We have Asuka versus Charlotte, likely, or Asuka, Charlotte, and Rhea Ripley, which I kind of prefer.
Well, she's pretty much going to debut at Fastlane too, right? We expect that.
I don't know. Because we don't even have anything announced for Asuka at Fastlane. You know, right now, you know, who knows? They could announce another match at Fastlane, you know, and then maybe she shows up there. I don't know. I mean, they just keep hyping her up. I personally think she shows up on Monday. I think Asuka gets confronted by Charlotte, and then out of nowhere, Rhea's music hits, and I think it turns into a three-way.
Okay.
So
good.
But with that said, I think we pretty much covered everything tonight. Any other topics you want to get into before we call it? We're running about a little under 2 hours.
I'm trying to think of what else there is.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we're good.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So everyone, just a reminder, if you want to join us tomorrow night, Mish and I will be doing Patreon the last 2 weeks, a lot of retro talk. And maybe I'll light up one of those snakes tomorrow. Maybe we'll see. We'll see. I'll be at the parents' house, so, maybe I'll light it up earlier and I'll show the video tomorrow. We'll see. But Wednesday I'll be back for Wednesday Night Dynamite. And yes, look, we're going to discuss what we're going to do as far as shows once NXT moves to Tuesday. Right now we have a couple of ideas, we're throwing around, but, we'll talk about it later this week. And don't forget, Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, you have Wrestling Soup. And then at 10 p.m. Thursday night, I'll be back here for Ask DT Q&A. Did you happen to see my wrestling stuff from the other day? Did you?
No.
Oh, man. I took I showed the footage when I managed at a wrestling event and my family turned heel. I took 1/4 of the building and I reserved it. And I blocked it off, and all it was my family, people from my neighborhood. We all got on buses, and we went out to Suffolk County, Long Island, and I was a heel at that time. This was early in my managing, and I had people come out with the heroes and drinks, and they only served one side of the building. On paper, it sounds racist. 3/4 of the building sat there and watched 1/4 of the building eat and drink all night long for free. Then I got the shit knocked out of me by Jason Static. I got chopped. I got hit 10 times in the turnbuckle. And I swear to you, I'm not hyping this up. People have said to me since Thursday, that is the hardest I ever saw anybody get hit in the turnbuckle 10 times. I got a chair shot. That is the chair shot where I threw up all night that I've talked about for years. That aired this past Thursday. So if any of you out there want to go check it out. And Sam, as far as people putting the dislikes, we know who they are. I had a little fun yesterday. I'm not going to talk about it here. We'll talk about it Thursday. But a couple of people got busted yesterday. Thought they were having a little bit of giggles and ha-has over, throwing my shit down. So, but you know how it is. The Donzel Army always gets the last laugh in the end. Like I always say, and I know Mish wouldn't say it this way, but this is my advice to each and every one of you out there. You got haters of yours on social media, whether you do a show or you don't, whether you work or you don't, whether you're a gamer or you're not. You got haters on social media. Don't even get into a war of words. The ultimate to them is success. Do good, have fun, enjoy yourself, and trust me, that is the ultimate fuck you could give to people out there. So there's a lot of bitter people out there. Just because you're enjoying yourself. I saw somebody earlier got vaccinated. So happy for the guy. And right away, how did you get the vaccine? How did you get? Like, shut the fuck up. Seriously. So for everyone out there, we know the usual miserable subjects. It's all good. Seriously. I say this. If you're a teenager doing that, that's one thing. But when you're a grown-ass adult and going on people's pages and rejecting it makes you entertained and laugh, obviously your life kind of sucks. So it's all good. We're having a great time here. I love doing the show with Mish. I love hanging out with all of you. And you know what? Just for the haters. Trust me, I did not bring that up for this. But if you enjoy the show, if you want to help me give this to them before you get out of here, throw a thumbs up. I'm watching the count right now. I want to see those numbers increase. Smash that like button before we get out of here. And I want to thank you for the support as always. Mish, thank you for coming on as well. And I'll catch you tomorrow night for Patreon. And we'll have a fun show.
You absolutely will. Thank you, everyone.
Take care, my friend. when I go like this, I kind of feel like, it's, you ever see online, like somebody will do like a symbol like this, like almost like a peace sign, but because their fingers are a certain way, they think it's like a Nazi symbol or like, I'm afraid sometimes. Like I usually just do this, like all of you out there. I'm a little nervous sometimes. Somebody's like, oh, what was that? But hey, I want to thank everybody. Sam, wait a minute. Darren's like, why is the show over? We're 2 hours, man. It's 1 o'clock in the morning here in New York. It's 3/16 day. So, yeah, daylight savings screwed me up, man. It's probably why I feel like I still got a little bit more energy, but man, that was rough. Like usually it's not that big of a deal, but yesterday, my dinner was screwed up. My sleep was screwed up. Even when I got up this morning, I'm like, something just doesn't feel right. So, but listen, everybody, much love. Thank you for everyone for hanging out tonight. And, your support is why we're here. And, as long as you keep enjoying the shows, we'll keep banging them out for you. And, our focus is to, let everybody get your mind off of things for a little while, just like it does for us. Believe me, you hanging out with us helps us get our mind off our problems too. But I want to thank you all for the support. And I will see you either tomorrow night on Patreon, patreon.com/Don Tony. If not tomorrow, I will be right here Wednesday night after AEW and NXT. Both shows look interesting. It's going to be really interesting what happens with NXT because of this little COVID outbreak that took place Friday. So it's going to be interesting to see if anything advertised changes. They really did not advertise much for this Wednesday, so we'll see if any of that changes or not. But, AEW's got a couple of matches lined up too. I'll tell you, I'm looking forward to seeing the Good Brothers versus Kenny Omega and Eddie Kingston. Good Brothers are no longer the Impact Tag Champs. They lost to Finjuice. Not for nothing, man. I mean, I'm fine with anybody that enjoys this kicking down the forbidden door thing that, keeps being talked about. But when Impact ratings are 140,000, I don't give a fuck who from New Japan kicks that door down. You kick the door down and you get 130, 140,000 viewers. You got Matt Hardy that makes appearances in Private Party and Tony Khan and Kenny Omega and Finjuice and this and that. You ever see those bad TV shows? You go to kick the door down. I think like Benny Hill used to do that. You kick the door and your foot goes through the door. I think they did that in The Naked Gun. Remember when O.J. Simpson went to kick the door at the very beginning and his foot is caught in the door and everybody's loading their guns? Police squad. That's what this looks like. Kick down what forbidden door? Seriously. It looks like the scene from The Naked Gun. The bathroom door. I like that line. But I'm going to get out of here. It would be wrong for me to stand here and still talk. For some reason, I could still... Oh, yeah, I was just going to say, I thought I saw Mish's head move. It's unfair for me to keep rambling here when he is gone. So I'm going to get out of here. Have a great night, everyone. Much love as always. As you can see by the time, it is 1:04 Eastern. Well, which means we'll be right at the 2-hour mark. So good night, everybody. Take care. I'll see you later this week. Ciao. Forbidden Door.